Hi guys, this is Adrian. This video is for my intercultural communication class 174. Um, for this project, I had to choose an experience that I normally would not do or something that would make me uncomfortable. What I chose to do was go and get my hair done at a black salon. Um, I guess to really understand why I decided to do that, or like why it makes me uncomfortable, we kind of have to talk about um, something that's I think, is very poorly understood in the United States, which is race and racial identity. For myself, my father is black and my mother is Filipino. So I got a lot of my standards of beauty and beauty rituals and things like that from my mother, of course. So what I got was Filipino. I didn't really experience a lot of my African American culture side. Um, at least beauty wise, because that was my dad, so I experienced it in other ways, but not necessarily the beauty part of it, so I was a little removed from that. um, the reason why is uncomfortable, if you kind of look at me first glance, I don't think it's hard to tell, but hey, I'm me. It's kind of hard to tell what I am off of the bat, so I guess I don't look black. In fact, sometimes I get that I don't even look Filipino. So you can't outwardly look at me and then kind of make a judgment or put me into a category, because it's very difficult to tell what I am. And so for that reason, I don't look black. So when I encounter people within my culture, within my own African American culture, I'm kind of constantly having to tell them, like, no, I'm black. Like, are you sure you're not from Vietnam? Yeah, pretty sure. um, and another big thing is within our culture, hair. Hair is very, very big. We live in we live in an American culture where the standard of beauty is European based. I will say that European based. We value fair skin, tan skin, but not too tan. Just that right amount of California tan. Full lips, but not too big. Not like African American lips. Just full. Um, what else? Rosy complexion. Things that are kind of exclusively European or Caucasian. I can't necessarily get a rosy complexion. I don't really have fair skin. I'm pretty dark. Hell, I'm hella dark. Um, so it's kind of growing up in that environment where society and the media are putting this image out where lighter is beautiful. But growing up as a black woman or a multiracial woman, that's kind of a hard thing to hear and to deal with every single day, especially when your hair um, looks it doesn't look like what society is telling you is beautiful. It's kinky, it's nappy, it's curly. It's not the sleek, straight, blonde hair. That is considered beautiful in our American culture. Um, and so for that reason, uh, African Americans, especially African American women, they take quite a bit of pride in their hair, and totally get it now. I totally get it now. And because of that, they tend to be a little bit exclusionary sometimes. Um, Kind of like, oh, well, you can't be black because you don't have the same type of hair as us, or how can you say you're black? You can't be black because you don't know what the struggle is like to be an African American woman dealing with, African American hair. And I totally understand it. I totally do. I don't have African American hair. I am multiracial, so I have hair that's in between Filipino and in between black, so I got like a mop. That's the best way to describe it. I got a thick mop that I don't know what to do with. So I decided to go to the salon and get my hair braided because it's a little uncomfortable for me, because typically in those situations, I end up having to kind of defend my identity, kind of fight for it, because a lot of times I'll get, that you're not black, or this and that, and so it kind of makes me uncomfortable being in those situations where there's potential for me to have friction with someone else based on what their assumption of my identity is and what I believe my identity is. Um, what was the experience like in terms of what you did, and describe from beginning to end? Well, so that little backstory that I gave you right now, it's very important because the first thing that happened when I walked in, I actually went to a salon that my partner goes to and gets her hair done sometimes. So they know us a little bit, but I've never gotten my hair done before. I only go when she goes. And so we walked in, um, just like any other time, but I don't know, there was a clerk or something at the counter, the receptionist, and said hi to her. She kind of gave me like the polite, like, hi, welcome to the salon. Okay, now I'm gonna go do my thing. And then we went around to the back. We said hi and let them know we were there, and then we came back and we sat down. When she realized that I was the one getting my hair braided and not my partner, her whole demeanor changed. She shot me a real evil look, like a real stank look, and I was like, oh, well, see, people like you are the reason people like me don't come and get my hair done. Um, and then eventually my partner had to leave, so I had to really go the experience by myself. And first thing that she did is we sat in the chair. We talked about what we're gonna do. Just something simple, just cornrows, and then we did like a little updo on the top. Um, Disclaimer, I'm not really a salon person. I don't go to the salon very often, white or black, Asian, none of that. I'm not very big on the whole beauty ritual thing. I'm very natural, no makeup, just comb your hair, put some condition, leave-in conditioner, and then let it be. Let it just be natural. So I'm very big on not doing my hair. So I have no idea what goes on in these places, in any salon for that matter. So she's like, come in, put your hair in the sink. So I put my hair in the sink, and then she washed my hair. Um, and I sat there for a while, and she's like, honey, you can come with me. We got to go to the dryer. So I went in the dryer, and then she took me back to the chair after the dryer, and she started braiding my hair. I wanted to record being in the salon, but it did make a couple people uncomfortable. So I decided that I would just kind of film my reaction to it and talk about my experiences. Um, so she sat me down. Braiding is a very long, strenuous process. What I got done, what didn't take um, all that long, because I didn't go there so much for the style as much as I told her, I just want the full experience. So it really doesn't matter what you do. Just I just want to know what it feels like to get braided, and the upkeep and the maintenance, and really the culture of African American hair. So she sat me down, and her exact words to me were, turn your head and act like a robot. Do not move. And that kind of scared the crap out of me, I'm not gonna lie. And so she kind of turned my head over, and then she's like, okay, don't move. And let me tell you, braiding is painful. Braiding is painful. It feels almost like you're pulling individual hairs hard enough to where they won't break off, but still extremely painful. You can feel it's like the maximum point to which you can pull a single hair without it plucking out of your scalp. That's what it feels like. But you're doing that to maybe like 100, 150 of them at one time. But it feels like individual pain. It's I don't know how exactly how to describe it, but it definitely is a process, and I do have a newfound appreciation for it. So she just, kind of tilted me over side to side and finished, and then she put a little bun up, a little nice updo for me, and I love it. I think it looks wonderful. I might do this from now on. Um, What at minimum 5 concepts could you relate to the experience? I will definitely say racial identity first, because I believe that's a very big thing, especially for myself. Going into this, I was hoping that I could kind of take something away concerning my identity, that I would feel a little bit closer, and I feel like I definitely did. Um, let's see, high context. The shop, and I wish I had the footage to show you, but the shop, the atmosphere of the shop is very welcoming and open. Other than Mrs. Stanky attitude in the front, I didn't encounter any kind of friction. Like when I went back there, it was the most loving environment that you could possibly be in to be getting your hair done. Like everybody calls each other brother, sister. There's music playing, people are dancing, hairdressers are singing as they're doing your hair. Everybody's having, a great time. And you can tell that there's just camaraderie, and not much has to be said for the meaning to kind of get across, and you feel a big sense of community there. um, Polychronic, definitely. There wasn't a big emphasis on time. I don't even remember seeing a clock, in all honesty. The big thing is on the quality of the time that you spend there. It's not about the quantity and how fast you can get out, how fast we can get your hair done. It's about stay a while, talk with a friend, unwind, relax, and kind of bring something here. We're going to give you something, and you bring something back. Give back positive energy, and I definitely will say that that's a big thing in African American culture, is the polychronic time. We actually have our own time zone called CPT. It's Colored People Time. It's in California, San Bernardino. But what else? Stereotyping, prejudice, and racism. I think that those are big, and they're a huge aspect of African American culture, or hair culture, concerning hair. Um, I think that that has definitely helped shape the culture. We live in, like I said, America, where the emphasis is kind of on European beauty ideals. So there's quite a bit of stereotypes and prejudices and discrimination towards black hair. If you think about language, which is another concept, um, it reflects cultural values, which is another concept, that white hair is beautiful or European hair is beautiful. How many adjectives do we have to describe African American hair in a very derogatory manner, and how many are um, available for white hair, or for Asian hair, or for Croatian hair, or Haitian hair, or German hair? There's we don't really differentiate like that. But when it comes to African American hair, we say things like nappy head, or nappy headed hoe, or chicken head, or ratchet, or that kinky shit on top of your head. Things of a very derogatory nature. And there's quite a bit of stereotyping that goes on, especially around African American hair. And when you think of Black Salon, you think of, the cinematics, like barber shop and beauty shop, and people going crazy and grabbing crowbars. And it's not like that. I definitely challenge you to challenge your own stereotypes that you have about African Americans, because it's a very misunderstood culture. Because we don't like to delve into race and racial relations and things like that. What did you learn from this experience? I learned more about myself. I learned more about my own culture, and an appreciation for another side of my identity. Like I said, growing up, I really only got like the Filipino side of beauty, not really um, the African American side. Um, but I did learn to go into things with an open mind, and don't let other people's treatment of you speak for everyone within that same culture. If you encounter a gay person and they're mean to you, you can't say that all gay people are mean. Or if you encounter African Americans who don't think that you're black because you don't you lack that hair texture, or the experiences that go along with that hair texture, that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody else in the culture is not going to accept you and be welcoming. Um, what what could you guys learn from my experience? I definitely challenge you to challenge your own stereotypes. If you feel like you have stereotypes about a certain culture, or something makes you uncomfortable, then screw it. Go and hang out with them. It sounds so much easier said than done, but it's 1 hour of discomfort. It's 1 hour of discomfort for a lifetime of knowledge, of tolerance, of openness. And if you don't try, then you'll never know. Don't let stereotypes or bad encounters with people within that culture speak for the entire culture. If I did that, then I would probably have no friends, because I've had bad encounters with every single culture, pretty much out there. You will always bump into somebody who's having a bad day, or somebody who just, doesn't like the shoes that you're wearing, or the way that you look. You will always be judged in this culture, and you can't use those examples as kind of your stereotype for that entire culture. So I challenge you to think about your own stereotypes that you have, your misconceptions, and go out there and try and find out what the truth is. Um, I guess I do want to take this time, since I don't have very much footage and I wish that I did. I do want to take this time to talk a little bit about African American hair culture and race relations and things like that in the United States, and why it really is such a big part of our culture. Um, it has a lot to do with historical context, and really the treatment of the modern African American woman today. When you look at media and you look at the way that, African American women are portrayed, think of who comes to mind first. Medea. The very loud, very sassy, very ain't gonna take that. Very ghetto. Or you look on the internet sometimes, and you see girls on World Star and things like that, or you turn on MTV or VH1. They have shows. It's Black Ink, something like that. There's a show called Black Ink, and it's not very positive portrayals of African American women, or African Americans really in general. Um, and we're kind of portrayed like crazy, kind of like monkeys, just dramatic, just all over the place, like rah, drama, drama, drama. And there definitely isn't enough positive um, positive images of African Americans on TV, and I do think that definitely needs to change, and that black is beautiful, guys. We're all beautiful, and it's not about what you look like, or the skin color that you have, or the way that you smile, the way your eyes are shaped, or the way your texture of your hair is. It's what's inside, and if you can affect positive change in the world, then you're beautiful. It shouldn't be about how you look, it should be about how you give. And once you give, then you truly live. Ha ha. Need to put that on a Hallmark card. Well, anyways, thanks for watching my presentation. I'm sorry I didn't have more actual footage for you guys. Unfortunately, some of the people in the shop weren't too comfortable with me actually having the camera out and then recording me getting my hair done, and then, kind of moving it around. So I decided, in respect for them, that I would just turn the camera off and do my thing here. But I hope you guys like it. I'll see you all tomorrow at the singing bowl, and you can touch my wonderful new braids. Anyways, namaste, and stay awesome.